today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 58 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer.
And Gary.
And it's Smitty Appreciation Week. He's quite possibly the comedic gem in the show. Like, he doesn't have as much screen time as he deserves. And we definitely need an episode centered around him in some way. But today we're talking about some of his funniest moments in 114, 213, 215, 313, 314, 404, and 409. This man has literally been in every season of the show, and he is not a regular yet. That needs to change.
Yeah.
So, and similar to our Wesley Appreciation episode, which was episode 19 of Shop Talk, if you want to go back and listen to that, we'll only be talking about Smitty in these episodes and just kind of, like I said, like highlighting some of his funniest moments. So, we'll kind of start off with the news. Did you want to take it away?
Sure. So we did get a trailer for the rookie feds. I mean, we technically got like 2 trailers because they were like mini, like 30-second spots. And it like looks really cool, and like obviously Simone Clark is like fierce and a badass, and we love Niecy.
Looks like John Nolan's gonna like pick her up from the airport.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Why? Like, her dad literally lives in LA. I don't get it.
Maybe it's just,
really
because he didn't get to do it like in the last time, because he was like waiting, so it's like, oh, okay, gets like, I don't know. It's just a way, it's a way for, the crossover to happen right off the bat.
Definitely.
But yeah. So that's like the only like rookie person cameo we kind of saw in the trailer, really. But yeah, it like looks really good, and like obviously it's making us and everyone else in the fandom want like the, what do they call it, like mothership or flagship show or whatever, like in articles now. But yeah, so now everyone wants a rookie trailer to drop.
I literally just want the trailer to drop, the episode descriptions, the promo photos. Like,
I just want to know what the poster is going to look like. That's my thing, because I love looking at posters for things.
Honestly, like, where is September? Like, at this point, I'm asking nicely, where is September? Because it's not coming in quick enough.
Yeah.
But we're like just a little over a month out from the show's premiering.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not enough, though. Like, we need it. We need it to come quicker.
Yeah, totally.
But and then, of course, we've had cast behind the scenes videos and photos. Those have been floating around on social media. The rookie feds cast has really been coming through with like content. It's more so like I noticed it from Kevin Zegers, and I was like, yes, please keep it coming. And then Niecy Nash obviously is. So it's always fun to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then as always, Eric and Rosalind have been still recording, their podcast. I did retweet on Shop Talk. There was in their little like
preview.
Yeah, right? Or like it's like their new, I don't know what the full title is. It's like something news is like their latest like episode or whatever. Eric did say that they're working on getting Melissa and Alyssa onto the podcast, so which is cool because like they have like their new like podcast like space, like kind of studio space, and so there's room for them to like actually have like in-person guests and stuff, and so that would be super fun.
I mean, that would be an episode that I would listen to like 1,000 times.
Yeah, it'd just be so fun. I just like just the possibilities are endless, really. with all of that info,
especially if they could get them on like before the season starts. Season 5, like so like when I was prepping for this episode, like Hulu just like started the next one, which was I think 216. Yeah, and it was like I don't know, I guess I was like halfway through it or something, and it was a shot of Rosalind's character and Lucy Chen, and I was like, oh my gosh, like totally forgot about like all about their scenes together. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
because Rosalind had way more scenes with Melissa than
uh-huh,
she did Eric, which was hilarious to me. So
which like Rosalind Sanchez back on the rookie one, please.
yeah, that'd be fun.
Again, I'm asking nicely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But we'll go ahead and just jump right into the episode. So not much news, but you know, just a little something. It'll really ramp up though in September. Like I remember last year, first weekend of September, it was like, boom, here's trailer, here's everything.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
can't wait for the trailer like reaction videos to
Yes,
happen.
I watched the Office one from the season 4 trailer
Yeah.
again last week, and I
So
was
good.
like, I'm ready for part 2 of this because you know that the trailer that they're gonna put out is just it's gonna break the internet, like probably more than the last one did.
Oh, totally.
And I was just watching, I think because someone did retweet it and they were like, can't wait for 2.0 of this. And I was like, God, just remember when that trailer dropped and we all like collectively lost our minds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
imagine the season 5 one. They're gonna like put the kiss in there and it's over for all of us. So
Yeah, if there's any, I don't even care if it's like a 2 second. If there's any glimpse of like Chenford undercover, I will lose my mind.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
doesn't even matter if they're just standing there next to each other for like 2 seconds and it goes away. I don't care.
you're gonna screenshot that and just like stare at that until
Yep.
September 25th.
Gonna
Yeah.
put it on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram story, everywhere. It'll be all I talk about.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, just give me the promo. Like
Oh,
that's all that I need for right now. I mean, I would love everything else too, but
yeah.
promo,
I'm just
please.
waiting on the poster. Not that I don't want the promo, but just something about a poster. I just love a good poster.
They usually drop the poster first, I think. So
It'll just be cool to see.
yeah, especially because True is doing like promo photos. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
yeah,
and then they'll probably have, maybe they might have would put Bailey on there too. I don't know. Of course, they
yeah,
haven't
because
put
she's a
Wesley on
regular.
there though, and he's a regular.
Yeah,
So, ew. Okay, well, they at least have to put Aaron or like True
yeah.
on
No,
there.
I would think that they would just put like the
LAPD.
cops. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, like Wesley should be on the poster, and same with Bailey. They're all regulars. Can we have 2 versions of the poster then? Like,
Yeah.
make one
Or
version
if
where it's
someone,
just the cops.
yeah, if someone wants to like make one, if that doesn't happen, that would be cool.
We're not asking for too much here. Like, I just want 2 versions of the poster.
Yeah, I would if I could, but this is why I write because I can't do
Yeah.
any major like graphic design
Yeah, same,
of that caliber.
same. My coworker today was like, with a little added Photoshop work, I made this like because it had to be like a logo on a cap that looked like embroidered. And I was like, you're amazing. Like you're brilliant
Yeah.
because I could never do that. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay in Photoshop. I
Yeah.
can put a picture over or text over some pictures, but
Yeah. Got like basics, but we are nowhere near the caliber of
no.
that.
So yeah. But yeah, it's settled. We just want 2 posters, one with Wesley and Bailey and you know, all of the others on there. James, you can put him on tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the other poster can be strictly for promotional purposes with just the LAPD cops. Perfect. But yeah, I think we should get into the smoothie episode. This one is already just getting off on the tangent. So
That's fine.
as it should, because it is Smoothie Appreciation Week and this man is full of chaos. So we'll start off with episode 14 of season 1. And where we're at in this episode is it's plainclothes day, and you know, John and Talia are at the motel about ready to arrest a felon. John's briefing Smitty and Officer Jansen, and Smitty's sassy is like 4 walls and a toilet. Like, yeah, the motel room layout is pretty basic. And then he asks Talia, he's like, do we really have to take orders from your boo? And she's like, he's in charge today. Like, just listen to what he has to say. And so then, like, they get to the hotel room. Turns out that it's the wrong person, like, who's associated with the truck, but she had just bought the truck. She was filling out the paperwork, and they woke up the baby. So then the woman like hands the baby over to John for him to put her back to sleep. And Smitty's just standing there with a smirk on his face, like,
Yeah.
yep, I knew that this shouldn't have happened.
Nope.
But yeah, that was like his first episode, and he didn't say much. He didn't have much in it, but like his presence, we should have known right then that this man was going to be chaotic, but also an icon on the show, truly.
Yeah. And then in 213, it's kind of towards the beginning, obviously. It's like it's, you know, talking about like the sergeant's exam, and just that's kind of like a side storyline for Tim and everything, but it's like Smitty being labeled Mr. Irrelevant, with the sash and everything, because it's given to the officer who scores the lowest on the sergeant's exam, because they have, in the words of Tim Bradford, no chance at getting promoted. And Smitty just wearing the sash like the whole episode is peak chaos, and really wouldn't expect anything less from him. And I just liked how Sergeant Gray was like, well, Smitty, you've handled, you know, your irrelevance with about as much grace as like one can expect from someone with like little ambition. Like Smitty just seems so proud of that. He's like, yep. Because then he stands up and he bows. He's like, yep, taking full credit for this. Like, it's fine. And the next time we see him, obviously, like I said, still wearing the sash. He tells John and Nyla that he brought in a woman that like had the supposed like the winning ticket, or scratch off rather, and that turned out to be like Chastity, who we now know. But Nyla like stops him and is like, Smitty, our killer is a 6 foot 200-pound male. Cue Smitty. Well, she's none of those things. And then he just walks away. Like, that's it. Like, so his one-liners are classic, and he just does not care.
No, like he literally gives no Fs.
Yeah. Like it's so funny. And then of course towards the end of the episode, I guess I should say, him walking out of the bakery with a bunch of what I would assume to be like donut bags. And he has one like mid bite too, is like, so it's so Smitty and just very fitting. So
yeah.
So
then the next episode is just even funnier, and like again, this man just has no care in the world. So like again, where we're at in this episode, like Gray has to run periodic assessments, and to ensure that like the duty manual is followed, and that they're all personally above reproach. But like Gray has to leave for the day, so he leaves Jackson in charge of that, which like to leave a rookie in charge of that seems like very not unethical, but like just overwhelming.
Yeah, of course, maybe you just kind of thought like Jackson's
could like handle it and
like on top of it. I don't know.
Well, plus like he was taking Angela with him, so Jackson couldn't go out riding anyway. But even then, Jackson was like, please don't tell me that my TO is going to be Smitty or something. So yeah, no, I mean that, and he probably thought like Jackson would know more of it too because of his dad. But Smitty pipes up and he's like, well, I hope you don't read my diary. And we find out that what's being assessed is occupational integrity, from how they maintain the equipment to the upkeep of all their certifications. So Gray gives Jackson the duty of sharing the minor infractions with everyone, and making sure that the station is in compliance with all the regulations. So, you know, like in the episode, we see Jackson walking up to Smitty, And he's just like, Smitty, I need you to check the expiration date of your pepper spray. And Smitty's like, they expire? Like, I didn't know that. And apparently the compliance audit listed Smitty as having outdated OC spray. And he looks at it and it's just like, says probably, it's good through October 2014. And it still works. Do you want me to test it on you? And Jackson's like, no, just change it out. Like,
Yeah.
it was just too good. So then like Smitty walks into the copy room later and he sees Jackson, but like he quickly turns around because oh no, he doesn't want to be caught.
Yeah, it was so funny. He's like, Smitty, wait.
Yeah.
Come back.
So then Jackson's like, can you help me move the storage shelf? Like it's not in line with code. And Smitty's like, no, it's fine. Like, and then he pulls my back has been acting up excuse. And Jackson's like, just help me move this.
He used that same excuse with Tim though. And
yeah,
to be wow, that's his go-to.
This man, oh my god, I just need like a web series on him, please.
I just want to know because like he's been on the job for so long, right?
Yeah.
Like in 314, it was like 20 some years or something, and so it's like I just want to know, has he had any actual injury like ever?
No, so then it gets better because there's like a case file that falls out and it's over a year old, never assigned. And it's still a cold case, open too. And Jackson's like, what should we do with it? And Smitty's just like, just put it back where you found it. Like, you didn't see this file. As far as anyone's concerned, like you didn't know that it was there. And Smitty shares some advice in quote marks. And he's just like, the most important thing you can learn in this job is to never volunteer for anything. Oh, the work of a great cop and ambitious, she says in sarcasm. Like, Smitty, you can't just leave a case file like that. Like, so Jackson then gets the suspect in the open case and, he brings Smitty into the viewing room. And he's like, I need a senior officer in there to interrogate. And Smitty's like, you're only going to close the case if you get a confession. And the suspect looks way too calm. So Smitty's like, just give it to homicide and move on. And Smitty, keeps insisting that the suspect is like nowhere near ready to confess. But the suspect then gets up because like he's had enough. And Jackson's like, got the room like on full heat. And the suspect ends up confessing. And so then like they share a look and that's kind of it for Smitty and Jackson. Which like this episode was funny, but I was also like, poor Jackson, like he's just trying to get these reports done and the officers in question are like, yeah, no, don't bother me. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. But it kind of reminded me of a storyline in Chicago PD where Roman was trying to do this same thing, if not similar. And Hal was in intelligence then and, was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then Ruzek like had some Jeep in his possession or something. And Roman was just like trying to get these reports done.
Yeah. And Adam was like, well, yeah, I'll get it back to you. Like as soon as I'm done with this shift or as soon as I'm done with this and then.
Yeah. And Al, I think it was Al Olinsky too. He was like kind of giving him crap on it too. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was just Ruzek, but yeah, I don't know. This storyline kind of reminded me of that. And I was just like, poor Jackson, he's just trying to get his work done. And he's like, gotta deal with these cops and just like have other things to do. So,
I mean, I think it was earlier, I guess, I can't remember now. What was the one where like Jackson and Smitty, it was like where they first worked together. It might have been like earlier in season 2. I don't know. Maybe not. But like it was one where like Smitty was actually like somewhat helpful to Jackson. It was like when
when Jackson was trying to find an apartment.
No, what was it? I think it was the one where he was chasing the guy that dropped the bullets from the gun or something. And then like the kid got a hold of the gun or something and it still had like a bullet in it or something. And then he like shot his mom accidentally.
Oh yeah, I do feel like I remember that one. Yeah, because wasn't it like Jackson was driving and Smitty was in the passenger seat or something?
Yeah,
They were
I think
riding
so.
together, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like one occasion where like because Jackson was obviously like torn up about it, and I just remember Smitty was like, can do like what you can do.
Yeah.
But then
I
Jackson.
definitely feel like Smitty is helpful when he
Yeah.
wants to be. Like, you know
Yeah.
how they say like selective listening? He's got
Yeah.
like selective like helpfulness. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, I mean like yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I don't really have anything else
Like
to
he
add
picks
on
and
that.
chooses when he's going to be helpful.
He does. He does definitely because the next episode is an instance where he was not helpful, like
Yeah.
in the slightest.
No, he was not.
Because poor Brolin in 313, like literally, even before he gets out of the freaking car, he's like Smitty's already just like as sassy to Tim as like Tim is to him because he's like, took you long enough, and Smitty's like, LA traffic, what do you want from me? Like he doesn't care.
Hmm.
Um, and he like drove up in an unmarked car for like them to take and then brought them two sets of civvies, and then he's like fresh from the lost and found and just like you were supposed to pull clothes from our lockers, and John's like, we texted you our combinations, and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't do that. And I loved him though because he was like, why do we rely on you for anything? It's like instead of like being like hurt or something by that, Smitty's just like, I've been wondering that myself. Like he's just
Yeah.
like, why?
Honestly, like how do they I don't know. Like there has to be so many takes of them saying these lines and like just laughing or something. Like
Yeah, I don't know how
the
they like
amount of
do it.
like how they can just keep a straight face, it's beyond me. There has
Yeah.
to be so many takes. Like ugh.
Yeah. And then of course it doesn't stop there because John has to go up and to the shop, like because they switched out, like so Brolin's gonna be in the unmarked car, Smitty's gonna drive the shop away. And he's like, yeah, we gotta talk about your RSVP. And like he sent it in on a post-it note for the Wolpez wedding. And he's like, had a +1, and like the surf and turf was like marked for the meal or whatever. And Nolan's like, you can't send in an RSVP for a wedding you weren't invited to. And he's like, well, of course I'm invited. I'm the DJ. And I just love, I mean, not that that was like not funny because it was funny, but just like my favorite part of that whole scene was literally like Tim shaking his head back and forth and is like, no. And like, he's like mouthing to John, like he's not the DJ. And John has to like repeat it as he's like saying
Yeah.
it before he turns around and then yells it as Smitty starts up the shop to drive away. He's like, he's not the DJ. You're not the DJ. Like he just like yells it, and it's like it's so funny.
It's so good. I wonder if he was the DJ at Nyla and James's reception or like the second Lopez wedding. Like
I would
we
assume like
truly missed out on that.
second. Yeah, I would assume as like maybe if they had like a little party after their
Yeah.
courthouse supposed wedding.
Yeah.
Because I think Silas did like music for Nyla and James.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
But yeah, I know. I just like because we didn't even really see Smitty at that
I know.
reception, so it's like
We
maybe he
missed
really
out.
did just botch it in like the Lopez second wedding that we're never gonna see.
Yeah.
One can only assume.
Yeah. So then kind of going into the Lopez wedding. So like 314, it's obviously days away from Angela's wedding. LaPierre is out for revenge and Lucy's going undercover. So Smitty is Nolan's TO for the day. And Nolan's face just like cracked me up when Gray was like, Smitty is your TO. Nolan's like, wait, no, no, no. And Smitty's just like, Nolan, who he refers to as the kid, and I don't know why I like that, and it cracks me up so much, but it does. He's like, the kid only has a few days left as a rookie. Like, I'm cool with letting him ride solo. And Gray never misses a chance to be sassy. He's like, you are? Well, I'm not. So you're Nolan's TO for the day. And Nolan's driving him and Smitty around, and he asks Smitty, like, if he was the entitled, not too bright son of a dead drug lord who was betrayed by his people and then hunted by apex predators, where would you go? And Smitty's just like, Vegas, because I know that I would die and I want to do it in Sin City. I mean, in true Smitty fashion. Okay.
Like somehow that works.
Yeah. So then John, asks Smitty if he can ask him a personal question, and Smitty's like, I am currently single and very open to being set up. And no one's like, that's not what I was going to ask, but moving along. And so he's like, you must have wanted more than this at one point. You had ambition when you were younger, right? And Smitty shares a quote from Faulkner, and kind of long story short, like says that he likes the shore, and he gets it. Nolan wants to stink of being held back as a rookie, like off of him, and finding Cesar and flipping him is going to be the way to do it. But he points the question of like, how is he going to pull that off as a rookie with no street intel? And Nolan is confident and it's just like, I'm going to start by talking to Cesar's girlfriend. And Smitty's like, that won't work. Like the forces like talked to her enough already. And after John's done talking to Cesar's girlfriend, like they end up chasing a shoplifter, and John like falls and hits himself like on the fence or whatever when a can is dropped, and Smitty ends up like getting the cuffs on the shoplifter, which like, I don't know, it was just odd to me that it was like John who fell, but I was also like,
well,
okay,
it's a fence. What do you expect? Like joining fences again. One more tally for the fence.
But it also like gave Smitty like a chance to kind of shine in a way. So yeah, the fence kind of comes back, and the fence is just like a running like meme, I guess,
It
for
really
John, or
is.
like
It's
a running gag.
Someone could make like moments of John and fences. That would be lovely. I would laugh
There
so
would
much.
be some good. It would
It
be
would be
a
so, it'd be so
long-ish
funny.
video. Yeah.
It'd be so funny though. It'd be so worth it. Just because
Yeah.
like the man gets into so many situations.
Yeah. And kind of can't get himself out of it at times.
Nope.
Or he wants to, and it just doesn't happen.
Nope.
So, but then like they're back at the district, and Nolan's talking to Gray, and Smitty comes out, and he just kind of felt like has a smirk on his face, and he's like, yeah, our guy just peed himself, take care of that, okay? And Smitty like walks on. Nolan looks back at Gray, and Gray just laughs. Like comedic gold once again. I mean, this show, I tell people all the time, I'm like, it's more of a comedic, like lighthearted cop show. Like it's not as serious, and you're definitely gonna get like laughs and sassiness and all of that from it. So
well, it just cracks me up because like Smitty always gets to walk away.
yeah.
And never has to do anything.
Yeah. So then Smitty and Nolan like pull up to a spot where it's been shared that Cesar is hiding out, and Smitty's like, I don't know why you're still working. Like a busted finger gets you a week off at least. And I'm like, Smitty, once again, you are so determined and dedicated and ambitious. Like you are just killing it out here. So then they see Cesar, and he gets hit by a sniper, sending Smitty and Nolan into action. And at the end of the episode, they're walking back into the district. And Angela's like, are you guys okay? Like, I heard everything that happened. And Smitty's like, he's not afraid to say how he's really feeling. He's like, 22 years on the job without incident, one shift with the unlucky charm, a freaking sniper. I need a moment. And the way that Smitty was like, I need a moment. Like, it was so dramatic without needing to be dramatic.
Yeah.
But I was like, Smitty, you're not really helping at the moment, but okay. So
yeah. 22 years on the job. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was 20 something. I just couldn't remember.
But yeah, while watching this episode, I was like, oh man, we need to see more of Tamara and Silas together in season 5. Like we need to.
Yeah.
Because they're fun and They're like the Gen Zers of the show. But
Mhm.
also like Tamara, Silas, Wesley, and Tim all together, please. Like that entire group.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
I could see it.
So Smithy had kind of a big role in 314 because even like when LaFiera got out,
Hmm.
he was one of the cops that was transporting her.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
he just like let her get away. I mean, I guess what was he gonna do? Like she is
Yeah,
like a
there
high
was a
profile criminal,
definite
but
surprise, like ambush attack for
yeah.
sure on that. But yeah, no, it was very much like, oh, okay, well, it kind of happened again. Like,
Yeah.
poor Smitty. He and John really, they do need to work more together though, because the both of them just get themselves into so many situations.
Yes.
It would definitely make for an action-packed episode to have them paired up
Yes.
again.
So the rookie crack video is out. Chunford crack video is out. We need like a Smitty and Nolan like kind of compilation video like that because
Yeah. See, then
I
you
mean
can
it
put
wouldn't be
Nolan
as
in all the
long.
fence things.
Yeah.
There
I
you
mean it
go.
wouldn't be as long as like the Chunford one and the rookie, but like
No, it'd be so funny
there's
though.
content. There is content for it.
Yeah,
So
it'd be so funny. So,
yeah.
so funny. Because Smitty just gives a lot of good like reactions. Like it doesn't even just say anything. It's just like his expression
Hmm.
is just great. Which, speaking of the 40, well, I'm talking about 404, but like never forget Smitty's reaction to being selected as Tim's gopher in the previous episode though. Like, because I always say that like John is like the shocked emoji, like Nathan does that expression, but like Brent in this scene gave Nathan a run for his money with like
Yes.
the shocked emoji expression in like 403. So that's definitely an honorable mention. Um, but 404 has like Smitty as well as union rep, like running again for it. And it just cracks me up because like Gray's like addressing everyone and like Smitty just finally like, stands up and goes to the podium. Um and everyone like as they're watching it, like always it just always makes me laugh because like you have some people are clapping, some people aren't. Like Tim's like not clapping if you look in the background. Like Nyla's smirking a little bit. Lucy gave like a little clap and like it laughed a little and like Gray's just kind of like, yep, this is it because he's like, you're the only candidate for union rep at the time, anyways, Smitty.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, the speech is short and sweet. He's like, you know me, you love me, vote Smitty. Um, and you can obviously tell like Lucy's like flat out giggling, which is fair because it's just Smitty's like so proud of himself, and it's just like he's quite the character.
Yeah.
And like Gray's trying not to laugh. I always forget that like Smitty's been union rep since 2006. So it's like a long time um for him to be like in that position. And John being John, obviously to ask, uh a question. I mean, it's just like it was a good question about the mental health calls because that's like a big or well a major like side storyline for John
Hmm.
in that for at least a few episodes. Um and he's like, I'm not really taking questions. But he's like, well, that's a good question, and I just want you to know I've got your back. Like that's his answer
Yeah.
to John's question, and he hands him a button. So it's that's the Smitty way. Um, which honestly, it kind of surprised me though about like the next scene though that he actually acknowledged Angela like when she was like turning to him about the break room fridge. And she's like, how long has it been like this? And he's like, oh, it's broken. Like he's so clueless. But at least he kind of like semi acknowledged that
Yeah.
there might be an issue. It was kind of fun to see all the like stick with Smitty posters at the station already though, like because at the time he was running unopposed. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know. It's just funny. I kind of I don't know. Like Nyla, I guess it wasn't like really defending Smitty, but just like being, like no one's more like focused on like the benefits in Smitty of like the benefits package that the union rep shapes
Yeah.
for the LAPD. And it just cracks me up though about that scene. Like, could you picture like if Nyla would have been the other one to like run against Smitty? Like that would have been so funny because John was initially pushing for Nyla to do it. Honestly, it kind of would have maybe been a little bit funnier than like the race between Smitty and Nolan.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but that's only because like Makia does like deadpan so well.
Yeah.
And just
for
like
sure.
just really can just deliver a one like an just like a shock and awe like one line.
Yeah.
And then just like mic drop and then just like she could walk off and have that work. Yeah, it just would have been really funny. And then poor Angela. I mean, she finally did get the fridge, thank God. She was considering like asking Smitty about, like how to go about getting a fridge and everything, but like no wonder she had Wesley buy it instead. I can't say that I blame her, especially after she told John that Smitty once asked, why do women need tampons? Can't they just hold it? Like, wow. No.
Yeah.
No, they can't. No. I did. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And so I also can't blame Angela for being like, well, I'd vote for, John just to spite Smitty.
Yeah.
It works. It really does. It's just, yeah, it just cracks me up though because like Smitty goes around and like is like fixing his posters and like smoothing them out, making them all nice. Like he's just like he's so. I mean, he's
in
always
his own
like
world.
yeah, just more so in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like okay, this is gonna be my second one Chicago reference of the night, but whatever. Smitty reminds me of Herman from Fire and a Cap. Like if those two characters came together, they would be Smitty. Because Herman and Fire will say things that like you really shouldn't say to women. And especially when you work with women.
Yeah.
I mean, he said in an episode of Fire, like, why do the girls need like a lounge here at the firehouse? But then like Cap and Fire will also have like iconic lines, and that's definitely Smitty. So yeah, Smitty is just he's like a mixture of them.
Yeah.
In the rookie universe. I'm wondering I wonder if like the rookie feds will have a character that's kind of like Smitty.
That would be
Because
interesting.
in the FBI, it would be a lot more interesting. I mean, not that Smitty's not, but like it would be interesting to see how that kind of mentality for a police officer would work in the FBI. So, yeah,
definitely wouldn't be one to be out in the field.
No. But, and then the last episode that we have is 409. And so where we're at in this episode, like John's running for union rep, of course. Tim and Jenny's dad is sick. Wesley's looking to take down Elijah. And Tamara is supposed to interview Gray. So Tamara walks in, she tells Gray, like, are you ready? And he's like, yeah, I had something come up. So we find out that she's interviewing him for her criminal sociology paper on how aging affects the perspectives of cops throughout their career. And that Lucy said that Gray would be the perfect candidate. But then Gray sees Smitty and he's like, I have a better idea. So they walk out to Smitty and he's hanging posters up disparaging John. calling him the trouble magnet, but missing the N in magnet. So Gray is just like, Smitty tomorrow will be shadowing you. And his face kind of gets annoyed, but also like a little shocked. And he's like, and he asks like a ride along. And Gray's like, no, you can't step foot outside of this outside of the station with her. And Gray says that all he has to do is just show her around and answer her questions. So Smitty's like, he looks at Tamara and he's like, there's nothing that I don't know about policing. And she just like kind of deadpans and she's like, you spelled magnet wrong. So there you go. So then Tamara asks Smitty, who he's been on the force for 30 years, which doesn't make sense because, a few episodes ago, like in 314, he said 22 years. But
I was just
again,
gonna ask. Maybe he was somewhere else.
Yeah, maybe.
Like before going to.
But again, the rookie timeline just doesn't make any sense. So I could see this being a continuity issue. So yeah. But then, she's like, what's been the biggest challenge for you as you've gotten older? Like change in technology, procedure. And all he responds with is yes. And then asks her if she's ever heard of Clip Talk. And he's like, I want to upload a meme. And Tamara's face is just gold. Which, okay, Clip Talk, or it's like TikTok. I mean, yeah, you do upload memes, but also like they're more like meme videos. Like he did want to upload a video, but I was just like, maybe a meme wasn't the right word. I don't know. So then like it's the video of John on his first save when he got stuck in the fence.
See, the fence came back.
Yep. And Tamara's like, that's really how you want to beat your opponent? Like, all right. And he's like, he tells her this as if she's like a 5-year-old that will literally take anything. And he's like, if you help me go viral, I'll buy you a candy bar. And her expression here is even better because she just like looks at him like, you're like, you're nuts here. And so then like later in the episode, she's like, yeah, I'll help you go viral. And she gets this Clip Talk password. And then at the end of the episode, we see the video in the bullpen and we hear Smitty say like how he has to play dirty to beat John because he can't beat him on the issues. So it's kind of where we leave off. But it was great. Yeah, no, all of the Smitty content, like I hope that, I'm sure that we'll get to see more of Smitty in season 5. Like the man's literally been in like so many episodes, but yeah, no, I hope that we get to see him a lot more in season 5.
Yeah, totally. There's just something about, because like the Rookie's already a funny show, but it's just like, just to have like one character like that will like sometimes have an occasional like bright spot moment, but then just 90% of the time is like pure chaos and like, just hilarity is pretty great. So
I was thinking the other day, I was like, what if for an episode or two, like until they figure out Aaron's new TO, like what if Smitty is his TO?
That would be interesting.
Because in the episode that Tim and Aaron wrote together, Tim was like, there's a few kinds of cops that you don't want to be. Or was that Nolan and Gray writing together? One of them.
No, that was Tim, I think, because he was like, then you end up like, you can end up being like Smitty or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It would be interesting to see them ride together because I feel like we didn't get to see Aaron and Smitty really interact in season 4. So
not really.
And I wouldn't need it the full season. Like I just need it for an episode or two, maybe. But
yeah. Definitely. I would like another scene. I just want to see like Tim and Smitty like ride in the shop together for like a scene.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny to me.
Because we've seen Nolan and Smitty. We've seen Jackson and Smitty. What about Nyla and Smitty? That would be I would like, honestly, I want to see Smitty ride with everyone in the shop.
Yeah, be so funny.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't have any other thoughts on Smitty. The man is just
Yeah.
a genius with his comedic lines.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Brent just does such a good job. Like, because I don't know, like, how, I don't know. I just always wonder how people like play those kinds of characters. Because you can't make it too outrageous, or else
Right.
it becomes like, like you don't like believe it as much, or
Right.
you're just like kind of
Like you're
over it.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's obvious that you're trying for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like we just look forward to it so
Mhm.
much just because we know it's just gonna be just great. And so
So like today, as a Monday, when we're recording this, like you put out the thread of Smitty is like Chandler memes from Friends.
yes.
And I watched the Friends reunion back in May of last year because hello, I am like obsessed with Friends. And Matthew Perry was like, I remember just getting like beating myself up so much when I couldn't like make the audience laugh with my jokes and everything. And I would try like so hard for it. And I think of that like with like what you had just said, like he obviously you don't want to like overly try for it and like overly make it funny because then it doesn't seem like as genuine or something then.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Brent does like a really great job of it. And like definitely, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the lines are written anyway, but like if he brings in his own part of it, like he definitely times it just right.
Yeah. Yep. So it was just fun. We figured we should do a Smitty appreciation week just because, I mean, just why not? Like,
Yeah.
just, yeah, too fun not to. And Brent responding to us on Twitter was fun as well.
Yes.
That
Definitely
was
made our
yesterday.
week, honestly.
Yeah, Sunday. So that was fun. Yeah, so we just figured why not. Yeah, he's just a fun character. Like I don't know what else to say. He's just fun
Yeah.
character.
He
Always like
adds to the lightheartedness of the show.
yeah,
Too.
just makes every scene that he's in. So
And the show isn't so lighthearted. Like I'm saying that, but it's not as serious as
yeah,
other cop shows. Like
yeah,
yeah,
it's not
so.
like blood, sweat, and tears.
It's not like Law and Order, yeah.
Yeah,
Which that's not really a cop show, but they do have cops in there, so
yeah.
yeah. So anyway, you guys can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod _ or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with all of your thoughts. You can find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Kara Hyman.
And if you guys liked this episode of Shop Talk, you can leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you listen. It would really help out the podcast, and we would really appreciate that. And next week we'll be talking about 304, where we're still navigating Jackson's partnership with Stanton and where it goes from there. So we will talk to everyone next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Go get him, boo.